Hi, my name is Greg Bain. I'm one of the directors of TLC Solutions Australia and also a psychologist. And I've been asked to share 3 tips on working from home and in particular, clarifying expectations. And I'd like to talk about just 3 key tips that are critically important to help make working from home work really, really well. I'll just start off with really quickly explaining the reason why this is so important. And when we clarify expectations, what it does, it creates that psychological boundary between home and work. When we go to work in an office, there's a physical boundary. When we don't have that, when we're working from home, now that physical boundary is gone and we have to somehow create a psychological boundary. One of those psychological boundaries is the clarity of expectations. When we clarify expectations, both with our family members and with our workplace, what we do is we give ourselves permission and others around us to manage those boundaries. And most importantly, we eliminate the feeling of guilt. And guilt is a horrible emotion that can actually erode our well-being. And what we need to be able to do is eliminate guilt from our lives, from ourselves, and from our family members, and from our work colleagues. And so we need to be able to clarify expectations. Firstly, the first expectation that's critical to clarify is the expectations with your family members, whether it's your partner or children, about what is work and what is home. And this is about being able to define, when am I working, when am I at home, and putting some very clear boundaries and expectations around what that looks like. And it could be anything, but whatever works for you, it's about clarifying what is that expectation. Perhaps it's closing a door, maybe it's putting the glasses on, maybe it's when the laptop lid's open. Whatever it is, define that expectation. This is work, this is home. Secondly, we need to clarify expectations with our manager, with our leader, with our work colleagues. And here, what we need to be talking about here is what is specifically are expected of us in terms of how we're working. You need to talk to your manager around how you structured your day. And depending on your circumstance, your personal circumstances, there might be some of you might be starting work at 5 in the morning, for example, and working to 7:30. Then you've got 7:30 to 9:30 with the kids, and then 9:30 to 11:30 working again. Whatever that rhythm is, it's about having a conversation around what that looks like. What are those expectations? You need to talk about those expectations around what does good look like? What does a good day look like? What is quality? What's good quality? And the more we can define those expectations specifically, the more we're going to be able to deliver what is required for a workplace, and the more we minimize and reduce some of that potential conflict. And it's also clarifying, what does my manager need to expect of me? So it's a mutual expectation conversation. And the third expectation that's really critical to talk through with your family in particular is, when are interruptions okay? So we can set those expectations with our family about when I'm working, when I'm at home. We can have those expectation conversations with our colleagues from the workplace, with our leaders and our manager. And so we have all that clear. But sometimes we need to interrupt. Sometimes there's things that happen in the workplace. Sometimes there's things that happen at home that then we need to then be able to adjust and adapt. And so we need to talk about what is okay. What's an okay interruption? What are the criteria for an interruption that makes it okay to come in and say, look, I'm really sorry, but I need to interrupt because we have to do X, X, and X. And the same thing with work. Give your colleagues, your managers, permission around what is it, when is it okay to call me? When is it okay to interrupt what would normally be my home time to then be able to have a conversation with me? The final thing to finish with is that we can set all these expectations, but sometimes we're going to get it wrong. And sometimes we're going to make mistakes. And this is a learning process. This is about adapting and learning to how do we work from home. And for all of us, it's a process of experimenting what works, what doesn't work. If it doesn't work, if we get it wrong, we need to first of all be able to just go, it's okay, let it go, and we need to forgive ourselves and forgive people around us. And if we can get better at being able to see this as a process of learning, yes, sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out, but we can learn, we can improve for next time and keep going. The clarity of expectations is your foundation of being able to manage and work from home successfully. So I encourage you to think about having those expectation conversations with your family, with your work colleagues, and in particular with your family, because what it does, it creates that psychological boundary, and it helps your family understand when are you working, when you're at home, and then they can transition. As much as you can transition, your family can also transition to you now you're at home, now you're no longer working. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's prompted some thinking for yourself, and please keep safe, look after yourself, look after your families, and be well.